Hello everyone and welcome to Back Talk Live. My name is James and right now I'm in the basement, which is actually the lounge at Back USA headquarters in Buffalo, New York. As we hope you can see, it's a brand new renovated space that we actually blogged about last week. So if you want to visit backusa.com/news, you can see what this entire space looks like at the potluck we had last week, which was amazing. Right now, I am joined with Bertholt and Jon Grimes, and these guys are our industrial designers here at Back USA. And what they're going to help us talk about and learn today is how they're impacting the manufacturing process at Back USA. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, of course. I know you guys are super busy, but we're kind enough to invite the Facebook community to ask some questions. So if you've got questions, make sure you fire them off to Facebook Live and we'll try to answer. But until then, Bertholt, Jon, why don't you give us an idea of exactly what an industrial designer does at Back USA?
Right. We design the product. We design the customer experience with the product. I see myself as a visual caretaker of the product, so we make a lot of aesthetic choices.
Okay.
Colors, materials, textures, and then the design choices. Does this have ridges or no ridges? Is it smooth? So there's a lot of decisions like that, and also the function side of it, making sure that the product experience is really good so that the customer who interacts with our products really enjoys interacting with them. That's kind of our role.
So you're helping take the reference design, which a lot of people don't know about, comes from Intel, so industry leader in computers, and you're enhancing them to make them better for the user, it sounds like.
Right.
Okay. Jon, can you tell us a little bit about something maybe you worked on or how your role has helped the industrial design team make some of our products better?
Yeah, so my role, or our role rather, as industrial designers, I also view it not just as the visual caretaker.
Okay.
But we're also, you can picture us as like a two-lane bridge, basically. And that two-lane bridge, one lane is a bridge between that links the consumer to the product.
A bridge between the consumer and the product.
And we're also the link between the business and consumer as well. So we are a double lane bridge, and without us, basically, customer experience wouldn't really be as prime as it is right now. So what we try to do is basically take all the complaints or all the research that we got, like the user experience on the user experience side, and we try to edit, make adjustments to these designs.
Sure.
That would make the consumer a lot happier with what they're using, with the user experience of the product.
Because the name of the game is all about the best user experience. How can we solve a problem for our users? I see we've got the Seal device here, primarily built for workers, also can be available in schools and school business. You guys have a ton of stuff on this table, but before we get to that, I'm glad you guys mentioned a little bit about the manufacturing process too, because it's more, like I said, just snapping computers together and then reselling them. It's so much more than that. For the complete list of steps, you can visit backusa.com/manufacturing, where we talk about how we take the reference designs and improve them, as you mentioned. I want to just say one thing that's on that website that would really give people a clear idea of what exactly the manufacturing process looks like. We say on the website, we work side by side with our global partners like Intel and local customers, which is the customer, the local consumer, to identify untapped opportunities, which you guys have here, and chalk up new solutions. We collect feedback, we analyze options, we go to the drawing board, and blueprint designs. Now that's what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
Great. You render images, fire up the 3D printer, and bring prototypes to life. Brainstorm ideas and break molds. You guys are finding openings for added value, and then you're making it happen. Now, we've got a bunch of tools on the table. How are you guys using all these things that I don't even really know what we're looking at right now? Can you shed some light, guys?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I can talk about the process a little bit first. So what we're looking at is this is the original seal with the loop and the stylus, which you can kind of notice it's not the easiest to slip in there. Right. And we have our redesigned stylus clip and sleeve on our stylus. And then this is a small picture of the process, how we got here. Some 3D prints based off of 3D models we made, some sketches.
Okay.
And there'd be 3D renders that we actually don't have some of those samples here with us today.
Okay, so we looked at the loop on the seal, and you guys probably recognize that it could be a little bit better, but was there also feedback from people you worked with who said, listen, the seal stylus holder's not really working out for me. How can you make it better? And
Yeah.
it seems like this is the solution you've come up with.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we ran in with the stylus loop here is it's kind of hard to do that. We felt like that experience could be a little bit easier.
It looks a little flimsy.
This is the other problem with it. If you just pull it really hard, it just comes straight out.
Not terribly rugged.
Not exactly rugged.
Right.
So we wanted to make that experience a lot better, and we went to the drawing board, did a bunch of sketches, trying to come up with ideas. And along with that, we also noticed some customer feedback where, especially when wearing gloves, if you're using the stylus, it kind of just pushes through your fingers. It's hard to, like, you have to hold really tight to keep a grip on that. So there's the stylus that we wanted to improve, and then there was also the clip experience that we wanted to improve. And ultimately, the solution that we came up with was there's this rubbery plastic. It's called an elastomer.
Elastomer?
An elastomer.
An elastomer.
Yeah. A TPV, to be precise.
Okay.
Thermoplastic vulcanate. And we designed a 3D part, had them manufactured, and we slipped these onto the seal now so that you have a really good grip.
Okay, let me stop you there. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
So I see you've got sketches here.
Yes.
What you guys do is you sit down, you draw up what...
Started with this.
Okay.
Just sketches, you know, trying to come up with some ideas. How are we going to design this item?
Cool.
And then we model it up in 3D.
All right.
And then we get 3D prints.
Yep.
And then ultimately, after 3D prints, you'll get some parts off of a tool from our vendor who actually cuts it out of a giant steel block.
Okay.
And we get these little guys.
That sounds pretty badass. Giant steel block. I got hands for days, Bertholt. Stu thinks he's a Pats fan. Because he's a Pats fan, he's bitter about losing. He thinks he can embarrass me on Facebook Live. Didn't happen that time. These are really cool. So if I'm wearing gloves, like you were saying, I could probably have a better grip of the stylus when I'm using my
100%.
seal in cold weather, no matter what I'm doing.
Yep.
We've created a solution that's better than we had to begin with to create the ultimate experience for the worker.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And then the nice role that we play as designers that is maybe a little bit different than some designers are able to do is since we're manufacturing stuff here, we're not only thinking about the user experience when we design something, we're thinking about the manufacturing experience and our technicians who are actually assembling these devices.
Okay.
So when you take something like the original fabric loop, it has 3 parts, and you have to put the fabric in between. You have to sandwich it with this other piece of plastic. Then you have to hold it in place and drill it in.
Completely inefficient.
Very inefficient.
Okay, so how long do you think, or do you remember it taking to really assemble that part, ballpark even? It takes how many minutes?
Well, probably 30 seconds. I don't know. I didn't time it, but...
Okay, so 30 seconds doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you're doing it for 1,000 devices, that adds up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's
also more to track. So you have to think about shipping and logistics, and you have to, make sure a technician has all the parts that they need to assemble something. So there's a lot of moving parts. So this is called design for manufacturing. It's making decisions about how we design an item so that it's easier on the manufacturing side. And what we've done is we went through a ton of iterations. I have, 7 or 8. These are all 3D prints of models that we made to come to what we thought was the best design for this product. Here's the final clip.
Thank you for not throwing it at me.
You're welcome. I figured.
I would have dropped the third one.
All right. So what we wanted was a nice snap. So I'm not sure if you can hear that on Facebook Live, but there's a little click.
You know it's in there.
It's secure, and it's in there, and it's very easy to snap it in and out. It's only one part, so as far as assembly, you just have to hold the part, put in the screws, and it's secure. There's not this multiple part issue.
Sure.
Much faster on the assembly line, and then a much better user experience at the end of the day.
Sounds like a win-win for our user and for our manufacturer. It looks like we have a question on Facebook. Honestly, I'm looking at Facebook right now. I don't see us. I'm trying to see these 3 handsome dudes right on Facebook right now, and I can't. So if somebody could dig up what that question is, we could kindly respond. But in the meantime, we will move on. I'm just looking at a picture of Ula, Bertholt, and Jon. My voice cracked, probably because I'm a little embarrassed. But no real video. No real video. of the Facebook Live. So as soon as we're able to find that question, we'll answer it. Let's take a look at the old notifications. Just my mom, just telling me I'm doing a great job, so that's good. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you chiming in
Mom.
there. Her name's Dorothy.
Hi, Dorothy.
She's in Florida right now.
Awesome.
This is just a picture of me at a Mo show from last weekend. That's a little bit different.
You have a great son, brilliant copywriter.
Bertholt, you're too kind. I really appreciate that. Well, in the meantime, we can take a look at the next part of the conversation, which is going to be involving that bag that I see on the coffee table. John, now you worked on making an improvement or in some way designed this bag. What can you tell us about it?
This is actually a bag from scratch. So right now, here we have 2 iterations. This is the old one. And what this bag is for, this is a product that we're now about to implement in our new accessory lines.
Okay.
And this is for our Atlas R1 and R2 devices. And it's meant for kids, basically, to carry their laptops in school easier.
Because we know that the Atlas is the 2-in-1 laptop for education. This bag is especially designed to accommodate the students' needs.
Exactly. So here, we were working with the vendor. We sketched up the bags just like you see there. We went through the entire process, and we worked with this vendor one-on-one to basically produce this. So this was the first iteration, and here you can see the strap was way too small. Like, I don't know. Like, this is even too small for a little kid.
Okay.
In here,
Just a sample.
it's just a sample, though.
Okay, so it's what we're starting off with.
Right.
Yeah. In here, we have this, I don't know if you can see that, but this is like a special type of material.
It looks really soft.
It is soft, and it's kind of like waterproofing a little bit, but like,
Okay.
if you were to stick a paper in here, like, you can't stick it in because the paper literally gets caught on the fibers of this fabric.
Okay.
So,
sticky.
that's
Sticky.
terrible user experience
Sure.
for the kids or whoever is going to use this. So, also, we see here on the other side, there's this pocket. Now, I don't know if you guys have an eye for, design or anything, but here you see on this nice side, like, everything's nice and flat and flush, and there's a clean finish to this. And then you have this, like, what the hell went on with this?
Yeah, it looks like there's an extra sort of pouch type thing happening.
Yeah, this just doesn't look good, so to hell with that, right?
Right.
So we obviously, you go through the process again, work one-on-one with the vendor, tell them we don't like this, we don't like that, change this, make the adjustments and the measurements of this like sign right here, let it come up to match up with this, all these like small attentions to detail.
Okay.
And basically, this was the final product that is about to be in production pretty soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. We can see here that that material that caused the paper to get caught is now changed. Slick material. so,
Nice.
like, better user experience. We have 2 pockets on both sides now. Clean finish, you can't even tell. So if you were walking with this, like, no one can tell that, like, something's going on with your pocket. And basically, it's just an all-around better finish. The length of this is a lot
Fits an
more
actual human being now.
accommodating now.
Valuable.
And so basically, these are the processes that we go through with industrial design. Any product that you want, we can think about it, design it, go through the process, and actually make it real.
Very thoughtfully done. We're not just taking stuff and selling it right away. We're very thoughtfully coming up with the best possible solution for all of our customers, and I really think that's what the difference is. So thank you for explaining that. We do have the question. This is coming for you both, and the question is from Kristen Lombardi. What made you want to work at Back USA, and what do you like most about working here?
That's a really good question. Part of what made me want to work at Back USA was we're doing something new and we're doing something different. And I've always been a person just in general very attracted to any sort of pioneering venture
Sure.
where we're cutting a new territory. And I really saw the opportunity here at Back USA to do different work, new work. I love the idea of leveraging local manufacturing. That's always been something I've been really passionate about as a designer.
Cool.
So there were a lot of things that I felt lined up with what I wanted to do with my life. What was the second part of the question? It was,
What do you like most about it?
Oh, what do I like most about it? Well, the people are awesome. Everybody here is super friendly. There's a really great culture of helping one another out. So that's definitely high on my list. And I think the second thing is just the work. Like, honestly, I get in every Monday and I'm excited for what I'm going to do today because I love my work as a designer. So yeah, the work and the people, that's what keeps me here.
I think those are two pretty critical components of any happy job. John, how about you?
Yeah, for me, it's so I've traveled around the world a lot, and I've been around, like, I've been that international kid.
Yeah.
You know, just everywhere. And being around a bunch of different cultures and societies and stuff, it's really been great, and I missed it. And then I find this company on a job board or something, and I was like, fresh out of college, I was like, wait, this is a mini UN, 30 something languages, 27 nationalities, whatever it is. It's huge, you know? And to me, it reminded me of like a little mini United Nations. And I love that. I want to be part of multiple cultures. I don't want to be the one international kid, like, oh, the foreign guy, you know?
Sure.
Like, I am not the foreign guy. I am amongst a foreign family, if you want to call it.
Of course.
So, you know, it makes me feel at home to be around multiple cultures. And yeah, the people are great. I just love working here, you know, no complaints. The work I do is not even work because I enjoy what I do, so it's not work, you know. It's just kind of like getting paid for a hobby.
Sure, yeah. You come to work and you just exercise your talents and you're rewarded for it in more ways than one. I couldn't agree with you guys more.
Yeah.
I think that's going to wrap it up for our Facebook Live, but that doesn't mean the conversation's over. We're going to have a special sneak preview of bonus feature with Bertholt and Jon. They're going to tell us about what inspires them and what they use as motivation. So make sure you stop back at the blog, backusa.com/news. Check out the blog, and we'll have bonus feature coming up at the end of the week. Until then, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
So we stopped with Facebook Live, but we're going to pick it up with some special bonus footage. Again, I'm James. This is Bertholt and Jon, industrial designers here at Back USA. Going to tell us a little bit more about a day in the life on the job as an industrial designer at Back USA. Guys, chime in whenever. What are you using for motivation, for inspiration? I know you guys are artists at heart. You're certainly exercising all your artistic abilities when creating the new products here at Back USA. What drives you?
Well, I'm not an artist.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
You're not
We're
artists.
actually not artists.
We're not artists.
I'm embarrassed.
Just wanna. No, you're
This
fine.
looks like art to me. It looks like I see a brilliantly drawn product. Leads me to think that maybe there's some sort of artistic ability there.
You could say artistic ability. I really view it as a ability to communicate visually. So art is more about communicating an emotion by what you're making.
Okay.
Whereas in design, we use drawing as a visualization tool to communicate ideas more so than anything else. So yeah, being able to sketch is really important, but the point necessarily isn't really, we're not making art.
Yeah, no.
At the end of the day, it's not really art.
Picasso.
It's not exactly art because this is something that has a practical, tangible use at the end of the day, and
Not
often
that art isn't.
that's what I'm
practical or
wondering. I'm sort of wondering what the
tangible.
difference is, like, because it's, I don't know, you're
Yeah.
creating tools, so I think maybe that's different, although I guess some art could be doubled as a tool.
Okay, so
Break it down for me.
us as industrial designers, I think you need to understand where the term industrial design came from in the first place. And industrial design, or just industrialism in the first place, came from, you know, when the Industrial Revolution was happening in Europe.
Okay.
Right? So at that time, you know, you have factories producing mass production and stuff. And basically that's what industrial design is. It's designed for mass production. That's in a nutshell. I mean, it's way more than that. It's
Sure.
way more than just
Right.
that. It depends on what you want to do, because you can also jump into any industry. Like right now, Bertholt and I are in the tech industry, you know, designing
Right.
for tech. But there's industrial designers out there that design for the automotive industry, that design for the medical industry. It depends on whatever your focus is. We as designers can literally jump into any industry we would like to. you know?
And sorry
Awesome.
to kind of co-opt your question.
No,
I
please.
just wanted to throw that as a clarification because sometimes there can be the misconception that industrial design is art, when really at the end of the day, we're probably more related to engineers than we are to artists as far as
Interesting.
mentality and approach. So it's a very systematic approach to how we problem solve, and how we create. That's, I think, totally different from how art
Sure.
is approaching.
It's less
things.
about evoking an emotion and more about providing a solution.
Well,
You might be trying to evoke an emotion.
but like the
Okay.
thing is like, again, it depends on what you're trying to do with the design. You know, like,
Right.
for instance, in a medical design, you would have, you know, clean round surfaces, and typically white because it
It's
gives
clean.
you that perception of like
Communicates
sterile.
cleanliness.
Yeah.
You know, round for friendliness instead of harsh and sharp like this.
Right.
You know, so like these are things that also we still have to think of the emotional response that the product is gonna elicit. But the artistic side where you like are sketching, that's probably the only part that is, you know, overlapping into the art side. Right. Because everything else we're focusing on how is this piece gonna be manufactured? We need to look at you know, all these engineering aspects.
Right.
Like, is this a weak point? Is this gonna break? Like, for instance, this clip right here. You know, like, you might see that, you know, an engineer might come up and be like, oh, you might have a weak point right at this
Right.
spot right here, you know? And us as designers, like, we have to think of that. We have to think of like, all right, where is this product gonna be living in the real world, you know?
Okay. Let's agree that, is it science meets art? Can we call industrial design science meets
Or
art?
engineering meets art.
Or engineering meets art and science?
Engineering
Yeah.
means art, yeah.
All right, I like it. Cool. So we haven't even began to touch what you guys go to keep yourselves motivated, or give yourselves an extra edge on what needs to be created or thought about. So what do you use? What keeps you going? What's something that maybe another industrial designer or artist or engineer could use whilst working?
Yeah, I think some of it is very person specific. Like what one person finds inspirational, not necessarily the same for another person.
Okay.
I kind of think of inspiration as there's two parts to it. One is motivation to do your craft. The other is maybe what inspires you, or what do you see that you want to apply to what you're doing. So as far
Influence.
as
Something influence. Like
yeah,
what
influence.
okay.
Yeah, what maybe influence is a good word
Yeah.
for that. I like that. So for motivation, honestly, for me, a lot of my motivation comes, I think, internally. I've always had a real desire to create and make things, and I love that. Like I, as a kid, loved Legos. I loved drawing robots and all that stuff.
Cool.
Because I wanted to make things. As a designer, what I find that influences me is honestly everything around. I think we're kind of trained as designers to really take a critical eye to anything that's around us. So even, you know, the table, the furniture, sometimes I'll see shapes that I find very attractive. Like I actually really like a lot of the shaping on your lounge
On my
chair.
body?
I wasn't going to say that, but that can be a source of inspiration.
I'm shapelier than ever, Bertholt. I was hoping you were going to compliment me on my shapeliness.
Yes,
Do go
your
on.
shapeliness inspires me, James. I just want to. But sometimes you can see, you know, this wedge shape.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think, wow, I can take that same wedge shape and apply it over to this product by kind of putting that shaping on the side of the device.
Okay.
So to me, there's a lot of that inspiration that I find in the world around me. I really love Logitech. Whatever they're doing design-wise currently, I think they're making a lot of really smart design choices. Their Craft keyboard, a lot of their current products that are coming out, mice, keyboards, those devices,
Okay.
I think are really well designed and have a really interesting aesthetic.
Yeah.
Apple obviously has a very good design sense, although it's a little bit sterile, I think now.
Yeah,
You
it's very impersonal, it feels like to me, just from somebody who doesn't know a lot about industrial design or even art or engineering or anything else. It comes off as, for me, very, I'm struggling to find the word to describe it, but it's not terribly friendly.
Right.
I don't know if you guys get that from them. It's even worth mentioning, but
Yeah, and I think they're going for a very specific aesthetic. I think that some of Microsoft's products, especially their Surface Studio, I think is a very brilliantly designed product. So.
And you use that almost daily, right?
Right. Yep. It's one of my tools that I design with, and I mean, even Nike Freeze. These are my favorite shoes. I always buy Nike Freeze. I love the design. I love the comfort.
You're brand loyal to Nike Freeze.
Huh?
You're brand loyal to Nike Freeze.
I'm brand loyal to Nike Freeze. So really, what I find is I find a lot of different products from different companies that I find really inspirational because I feel like they're so well designed,
sure.
They're so effective, and yeah.
Cool. Nice. How about you, John? What do you find to be influential in your career as an industrial designer with us?
So my inspiration, I feel like, is more of a story.
Okay.
What do I see for inspiration? I'm new to industrial design, actually.
Say that again?
I'm new to industrial design.
Okay.
Actually, like technically. The school that I went to, which is Savannah College of Art and Design. Industrial design is a 4-year program.
SCAD.
SCAD.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And I was doing sound design at first. Mm-hmm. And it was cool, like I liked it, I enjoyed it. But then I saw my roommate, and he was, I would finish my projects like weeks in advance. And then I would have like 1 or 2 weeks of just like doing nothing. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of bored. This school is really expensive, so I need to be doing something more worth my time, And my roommate, he was doing industrial design, and I'd see him sketching away and like drawing and doing a bunch of research for, future products. And there was a lot of research actually. And, there's just a full process in industrial design that I saw. And that really attracted me. Like, I got attracted to that. So the end of my junior year, I'm about to graduate, and I just dropped everything. I was like, I'm doing industrial design.
Wow.
I flew through the 4-year program in 2 years, and thought like it was one of the, if not the best decision I've ever made in my life to switch from that to do industrial design and make that my life career, So
remarkable.
That's really my inspiration. Just I saw that with industrial design, you can do anything, virtually anything. You have an idea, you picture like, oh, I want a spaceship. Someone has to build and design a spaceship, right? You look at the research, you do the research, you get a team of engineers, you get a team of whoever else you need, aeronautical engineers or whatever, and you guys work as a team, you collaborate, and you sketch up these ideas, and then you bring it to CAD modeling, computer modeling, and you make this real thing. And then before you know it, this just went from an idea to a sketch to this real thing in front of you, And that's my inspiration.
Sure.
The fact that you can do that with industrial design and literally jump into any field you want to.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly powerful. You're starting with a clean slate, and the next thing you know, you're actually holding something in your hands that never was there until you put your mind to it with a team of people to make. Writing is similar to that in that you're staring at a blank screen, and the next thing you know, you have an entire composition composed, and you wonder how that even happened, but it's something you can really hang your hat on, so I'm with you guys there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. I feel like you guys have said it all, and I'm so grateful and thankful to have. All right, maybe we'll do a round 2 sometime. I don't know, but for today, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Thank you to the crew who you can't see, but hooked us up with everything we needed to make this happen. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.